hey, sometimes we get clients asking us the difference between them setting up Zapier or Public Connect integrations with their ServiceMate system and using us to set up similar integrations and automations using our WorkM8 automation. So first of all, we will use ServiceMate triggers to trigger something within the automation platform. With the ServiceMate default integration with Zapier, for example, they actually have some decent triggers in there. So if we have a quick look in here, we can see that if I'm going to use the ServiceMate app, and then I've got these different triggers: job completed, job queued, new clients, new form response, and new job. So these are really useful triggers, especially new form response and job queued. But we've used all of these different triggers with ServiceMate. So we will continue to use ServiceMate triggers inside automation platforms where possible. We also can set up webhooks with your ServiceMate system for things that aren't included in the Zapier default integration here. So these are things like if you add a job note or an invoice or something like that, we can actually also create triggers based on those events in your ServiceMate system. But generally speaking, will you use ServiceMate triggers? So what's the difference between using other parts of ServiceMate integration, native integration with Zapier, and using ours? So the best way to show you is actually in the actions. So if we create an action and we choose ServiceMate as our software, our action, now we can go from using a trigger into using actions. So let's have a look at what ServiceMate has as actions. You can do two things. You can create a client in your ServiceMate system, or you can create a job, and that's it. So not terribly useful for most businesses. They want to do a lot more than just create a new client or create a job in their system when it comes to automating things. So let's have a look at what the WorkM8 integration can do. So we've got WorkM8. Now, this is a private integration, so you can't just go into Zapier yourself and look up for WorkM8. You're not going to find it. This is something that we've developed and we use privately within, in this case, Zapier. And so let's have a look at the actions that we can do with your ServiceMate system using our WorkM8 integration. So we can do all sorts of things. We can add job materials, add bundles to jobs. We can create bundles. We can create job materials. We can create knowledge articles, attach files. We can create company record contacts. We can create custom fields, which is something that we get a lot of clients asking us to do that. We can create job bookings. So a job comes in, you need to assign a staff member to a job. We can do an automation for that. We can create job categories, create job notes is a very common one. So if something happens and you have an automation run and you want something noted in the job diary, we will use the job note. We can queue jobs. We can create new materials. We can update companies. We can create webhook subscriptions. Now that's a little bit more technically advanced, but basically if one of the triggers doesn't already exist in the ServiceMate side, we can actually create a webhook on your ServiceMate system and give you additional triggers. We can delete custom fields. So there's so much that we can do. We can modify attachments. We can produce invoices and quotes directly from one of your jobs. We can get that done, and then we can also send that invoice through an email. Or we can use your SMS quota in ServiceMate. Sometimes we see businesses that go and want automation. They'll have to subscribe to another service or platform to try and use SMSs. And our argument is, well, you've already got SMS quota built into your monthly ServiceMate plan. Why don't you take advantage of that? So we can actually trigger SMSs and emails from your system, job bookings, job content. So as you can see, we have a lot that we can do compared to just the two actions that you get with ServiceMate's native Zapier integration, for example. So anyway, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of the difference between doing it yourself and getting us to do it for you through our WorkM8 integration.